Hi everybody, it's Julie, and in this month's newsletter, I thought it would be fun to share how to take the same set of dies and come up with a variety of different looks. And I'm actually playing with Savvy Stamp's Flower Blossom Set 1 and Flower Blossom Set 2 dies, and I store them together on the magnetic sheet inside our clear storage envelopes. And I've never actually separated these dies. I've always kept them together. And this time I'm going to kind of temporarily join them together to create one really big mammoth die. And I'm going to use a piece of Post-it tape to kind of hold them together. And there you can see the pattern that they create by joining them together like this. And I'm going to take my multi-purpose platform and open it to tab 1, and I'm going to set the dies down onto a cutting pad, and I've already made an A2 card from letterpress cardstock. And I love the texture and feel of this letterpress cardstock. It's very luxurious. So I'm going to put the inside of my card front down onto the blades, and then I'm going to put the silicone rubber embossing mat by Sizzix, and then the next cutting pad and a cardstock shim. Ran it through my Big Shot. And then when I lift up the paper, you're going to see that the dies did not cut through the paper. They actually embossed the pattern of the dies into the letterpress cardstock. So I'm going to remove the dies very carefully, and here you can see it's debossed into the surface of the letterpress paper, but I actually really like the way it looked on the opposite side where the pattern is raised. So that's going to become the front of my card, and I love the texture and feel on this letterpress cardstock. And then I added a little tag to make a really quick card, and it turned out so elegant. I was so pleased. And then I decided to take them and try die cutting the flowers from black cardstock, and I just ran them through all together. And I know black flowers sound kind of depressing, but actually it's going to look really cool when it's done. So the first set of flowers kind of fell out of the die really easy, and I just kind of started popping them out of the paper there. But the second set were kind of all stuck inside the die, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to take my pokey tool and poke them out. But I had heard of this trick and I wanted to try it. And believe it or not, it works pretty spiffy. So you take an unscented dryer sheet and you're going to fold it into quarters, or you can play around with different layers of the dryer sheets depending, but this seemed to match the size of my die. And I just put the whole thing, the die with the black cardstock still stuck inside it, on top of this sheet of this dryer sheet that's been folded into quarters, and then I ran it through. I just put it on top of my magnetic platform with the regular sandwich, the 2 cutting pads, and when I ran it through, the paper popped out of the die and all the chads popped out, and all I had to do was peel away the die cut and all the chads remained right there on the dryer sheet. And you can scrape those chads off and reuse this dryer sheet until it falls apart. And it's an amazing discovery that someone came up with, and I just thought it would be fun to share it, and it actually works. So I thought that was pretty cool. So now I'm not going to be hesitant to use any delicate shaped dies because I've got that trick up my sleeve, and now you've got it too. And we're going to take these dies, and I just traced a circle. I had a piece of scrap cardstock that I had die cut a circle from, and it was just laying there on my work desk. So I said, hey, this is a perfect size for my card front. So I traced it with a pencil, and then I'm going to start using some glue. And this is just a really fine tip applicator for applying glue to delicate die cuts. It works really great because of that needle nose applicator there. I'm just going to put a few drops of glue there on the back of the die cut pieces. And yes, the film from the dryer sheet is on the back, but it doesn't affect the application of glue or anything. And the front side of your die cut pieces are just fine. There's no residue from the dryer sheets on those. But if you use the scented, I guess you could have a really nice scent on your card. But that can be kind of strong, so I recommend using the unscented dryer sheets for that ejection method for getting the paper out of your dies. And then I needed some hot pink for my greeting that I was going to die cut, so I took a neon ink cube by Hero Arts and just direct to paper across a scrap of cardstock I had there. And then I heat set it with my heat gun and die cut the word hello, and that's a Savvy Stamps die as well. I love that scripty font they used. And then I'm going to use this really fun big polka dot stencil by My Favorite Things. And I'm just using it as a guide to make these little teeny tiny pin dots and get them perfectly spaced out on my card front. So sometimes when I eyeball it, I don't get them spaced real evenly, and they're super tiny dots. So I just use that stencil as a guide. And then to mount my die cut greeting, I'm just going to roll up some glue dots with my fingers and put those on the back, and that will enable me to pop up that word die without any adhesive showing. And then another idea for the dies I thought would be fun was just to die cut them in white, and I just used Neenah 110 pound, and then I stapled them to some pattern paper, and I'm trying to use up my pattern paper, so I just die cut, or I punched out 1¼ inch circles. I did 6 of them, and then just stapled them there and glued them onto the dots and made just kind of a little grid pattern and added a greeting, and that turned out super quick and easy. And then I decided to take the little pods. These are like fun thistly looking pods, and it's just one of the die cut pieces. And I just decided to highlight it with some Copic markers. And I don't really like to spend a lot of time coloring. I'm a pretty fast colorer, so I just add my colors really quick, blend them out. I don't even pay attention to the color matching. I just do whatever looks good to my eyeball. Now I'm just going to take this one sprig of flowers and highlight it inside a die cut photo frame. And I just die cut it from some pattern paper from the same collection I used on the previous card that used pattern paper. And there I've got a great way to just take one of those flowers and really make it pop on the card front. And there's 4 ideas for you. And I think it's always a great thing when you can find multiple uses for one product. Thanks for watching.